afternoon and welcome to today's vlog for Wednesday the 6th of August. Hope everybody is well and you've had a good day. DVSA is the topic for this afternoon. I'll talk about today's work later on. I was driving in onto the North Circular this morning and they've got a regular checkpoint there. They had a 7.5 tonne and a van parked up, and it jogs my memory. I started this job in 1st of November 2023 and I think it was in January 24 I got pulled by the DVSA. I was going anti-clockwise on the M25 down on the south side and a car pulled in front of me. Up went the sign, follow me, and we went into the checkpoint they've got at Chessington, just sort of near the World of Adventures. Lovely bloke, exchanged pleasantries. He explained that they were doing spot checks on vans. There was a couple of vans already getting the once over in the compound. He asked what I was carrying. I had two pallets on. One was a small pallet, 200 kilos, and one was a bigger one on the back of 400 kilos. Showed him the client paperwork, which sort of confirmed those figures. He had a look in the back of the van. Was quite satisfied that we didn't need to go on the weighbridge. He did make a point that the small pallet had been strapped and the big pallet had one strap over it, and I think it's a bit of a grey area in vans and security, but maybe I was a little bit green and naive maybe at the time when he said it, but he did say probably put a second strap either over it or around it to make sure that it didn't move. He went over the van, he had a look underneath it, we did the light check, etc., all the lights and the horn. He asked about the insurance. I was able to show him hard copies of my documents and he asked for my driving licence, which I gave him. Disappeared, and then he came back a few minutes later all smiles and gave me a bit of paper, said thank you very much, have a lovely day. And just a brief conversation we had, he said that the main things they're looking for were tyres, load security and weight. And it's just had me thinking. I've seen a lot of posts on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram from DVSA lately with vans, and I'm wondering whether they're starting to turn their attention over to us van drivers from trucks. I don't think they have too much of a problem with British registered trucks now. Companies are very tight on the rules and regulations because the penalties for not complying are very, very strict. You will lose your operator's license very easily now. Foreign trucks are always a good target because they do abuse, especially the driver's hours. So yeah, I mean, vans, we're not regulated, are we? Really, we've got a pretty much free rein, and I just wonder whether is tighter regulation needed. Do we need to do what trucks do, for example, and do a mandatory walk-round check every morning? Check all the tyres, check the lights, check that everything's in good order. If you're a truck driver, you have to do all that with your airlines as well and the straps on the trailer, and you complete either a paper document, or most companies now have an app where you tick all the relevant boxes and you can submit that to your transport manager. Maybe slightly extreme for us vans, but if we had better enforcement, perhaps these checks, you might get rid of some of the absolute shit heaps we see on the road, and it might help us in the long term. I don't know, it's one to debate, or let me a comment, let me know, or just, have a think about it yourself. Right, on to the day. Not a good day, 2 jobs today. On my way home yesterday, I was looking, and I actually bid on a lot of jobs yesterday, more than I would normally bid on. Wasn't getting anywhere. I probably dropped my prices by £10, maybe £20 on some of them. Still not getting anywhere, but finally we did hit the jackpot. 3 jobs came up at the same time from Colchester, one to London, one to Felixstowe and one to Bishop Stortford. And I put prices on all 3 and I got the Bishop Stortford one. Long wheelbase, 38 miles, and I got £50 for collection at 8 o'clock this morning. When the details came through, it's from a kitchen manufacturer. Been there before. I do know they open at 7, so I did my normal and got there early at 7 o'clock. The woman there was absolutely delighted to see me because she said, I've got 3 vans coming in at 8 o'clock, and who knew that? So anyway, we cracked ahead. It was 4 pallets. Obviously I can't get 4 pallets on the van, and she was very, very happy to break them down. She explained that we never know if it's a large van coming in or a Luton. So she broke all the pallets down. It was 12 kitchen cabinets, and then boxes and boxes and boxes of flat pack for like the drawers and all the bits that go with the cabinets. It filled the van right up. We double stacked the cabinets, managed to slide all the boxes down the side and underneath and bits and pieces. Covered it all with blankets. I used all 3 ratchet straps that I take with me. But we was all done. I was off site at 7:35. Got to the site for 8:40. Straightforward journey down the A120. Nobody on site when I rang, but the guy said, "Don't worry," he said, "I'm going to ring the caretaker. He will come out and help you." I thought, great, that's really what I need now, is to be lugging kitchen cabinets and boxes into a school. It was a school we were doing. Anyway, the caretaker turned up with another chap, and they did all the cabinets and I did all the boxes. So we got it off in 20 minutes. I'm fine with that. Done by 9 o'clock and off site. It did get me thinking though, I should keep a comparison one week on the jobs that I do. The prices I would like for the job, the prices I get for the job, and what I think the job is actually worth once I've done it. I'll explain slightly. I normally would have bid £60 on this job. I think the market at the moment, as I've got it, was £50, so I'm £10 down. But having done it, the amount of work that was involved, the large wheelbase was full. I suppose kitchen cabinets, they are fragile. They've been made to a specific size. They've all got to be covered. They've got to be strapped down and secure. I've got a handball on all the boxes as well. And I don't suppose all this stuff is particularly cheap. Then when we get there, it's all handballed off. And I think really that job's more of an £80, £100 job. So perhaps I'll keep a little record and see how we get on in the future. Anyway, empty at 9, round to there's a little local Lidl's, Aldi's, I can't remember which it was, parked up. Not a lot going on, lots of vans around, especially Stansted Airport Way, which is sort of 5-6 miles down the road. I wasn't holding out much hope of getting anything, but a job did come up at 9:30. That was a long wheelbase job from Braintree, 20 minutes back towards Colchester, and that was going to London Northwest 2, which is Cricklewood, Wembley Stadium probably for most of you, that area. So I took that job at 9:30. I was on site by 10. Guys were on a tea break, no problem with that at all. They're quite entitled to that. They came back at 10:10. I was loaded 2 items, one 3-metre long piece of metal and like a table thing, all shrink wrapped and packed nicely. And I was away at 20:10. Straightforward down to Cricklewood. A120 is fine, M11 was fine. North Circular, to be fair, wasn't too bad. A little bit of traffic around Finchley, but it's always the same 24 hours a day. On site for 11:40. It was a building site. I do always wear shorts and wear trainers when I go to work, so I had to stop outside first, put on some jeans and put on my steel toe caps. Lovely guy on security. He was very helpful, showed me exactly where I needed to be, rang the contact on site, and he said, "I'll come down now and meet you." And he was there, got to where I was told to go, and he was waiting for me. All off, out of sight by 11:50. Perfect job. And that was worth £80. I was really pleased with that. One little job in Northwest 2, staying in Northwest 2, 3 miles, small van, put a price of £40 on. The only problem with that, it had a 3-hour collection window, so I couldn't really see me getting that anyway, and after 10 minutes I gave up. I wanted to get some petrol. I wanted to have my lunch, so I made my way back down the North Circular, got some fuel, and then I parked up just before Enfield on a side road. Switched the CX feed off, there wasn't a lot happening anyway. Had my lunch, read my book, and when I'd done that, went for a little walk around the block just to stretch the old legs, and switched the feed back on around 1 o'clock. There was some jobs around. Jobs going north, I don't really think I'm going to get anyway. There's so many vans around, they're going to do those prices a lot less than I'm going to want to do it. Don't really want to go west out towards the airport with the same problem, there's probably loads of vans. Didn't really want to go into central London. Nobody's probably going to pay congestion charging on any jobs you bid on later in the day. They're going to expect that you've already been in and absorbed that cost. And there wasn't really anything going east. There was one job from Woodford Green going out to Romford. This is 8 miles, it's nothing really, but it's traffic, so it's about a 45-minute drive probably. Small van, put £40 on it, went within 30 seconds, didn't get a sniff. So what I did, I've made my way home. I stopped at Braintree, just on the services there on the A120 for a little while. We sometimes get jobs come out, collect between 4 and 5 from Braintree and Whittam for delivery early tomorrow morning. Normally I can't do those, but the wife's working from home tomorrow, so that gives me that option. I did put a price, there was a job, a nice job actually, came from Whittam, going down to North 1 and then into the congestion zone into the City of London to collect some stuff and bring back to Whittam. And it's the old famous, are we going to get the full mileage back or do you go half price? I worked on my normal £125 to go into the congestion zone. I'm not really going to change off that even in the quiet months of August. Did the return bit for £45, so I totaled it up to 170. I hadn't received the call on that. That's not to say I wouldn't have got it, but there was another job that come up, and that's from Colchester for 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, going to Marlow. Can't remember how many miles that would be now, but I've put a price of £100 on that, and I've got that. So that's going to work, I think. I'm going to have a little lay-in tomorrow morning. I normally get out of bed at 5 o'clock. You know what? I'm going to stay in bed till 7 tomorrow morning. Hey, let's live dangerously on the edge. So I'm going to do that tomorrow, and then obviously we'll see how tomorrow goes, and then we'll make a decision on whether I work Friday or I may take Friday off if it's looking a bit quiet. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck. Take care on the roads, and we'll speak tomorrow. All the best. Cheers, Paul.